In this video, I'll be describing all the important concepts related to triangles. So first, let's start with the basic definition. Triangle is a three-sided figure which has three interior angles and three vertices. So what do you mean by interior angle? So these are the interior angles and the vertices are these points A, B and C. More simply, it is represented by the symbol of this triangle. Okay, now there are some basic concepts which are mainly used to solve the questions. The first is that the sum of all the internal angles of a triangle is 180 degree. So basically, if this is A, this is B and this is C, so this means that A plus B plus C will be 180 degree. So this is our first property. And the second is that the sum of any two sides of a triangle are greater than the third side. So if this is AB, if this is BC and this is AC, then we can say that AB plus BC will be greater than AC, and this holds true for any two pairs. Okay, and in this video we'll be exploring the different concepts of a triangle. The first being that there are the types of triangles, then there are similar triangles, congruent triangles and some special triangles. So let's move on with the properties of a triangle. So as I explained before, if this is the triangle ABC, then A plus B plus C will be 180 degree, and from the second property we can say that AB plus BC will be greater than CA. Again, BC plus CA will be greater than AB and CA plus AB will be greater than BC. So these are the properties which must be kept in mind. Let's solve some questions so that we can grasp this concept better. So the first thing is, it's given that in a triangle AB is 3, BC is 4. We have to find out the possible values for CA. So let's draw any random triangle. If this is the triangle A, B and C, it is given that AB is 3, BC is 4 and we have to find out this. So let AC or CA whatever be X. Okay, so this is X. What we can say from the properties? That is 3 plus X must be greater than 4, right? Second is 4 plus X must be greater than 3, right? And the third is that 3 plus 4 must be greater than X. Now let's simplify them. This will give us X is greater than 1, okay? Because it's 4 minus 3. From here we will get that X is greater than minus 1, and from here we will get 7 is greater than X. Now this will always be true. So combine them, 7 greater than X greater than 1. So what are the possible values? It must be 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, right? So these 5 values can be possible for CA. Now let's move on to the different types of triangles. The first is the concept of an equilateral triangle. So this sign basically means that the sides are equal in length. So in a triangle, if all the three angles, that is A, B and C, are equal and all the sides are also equal, then they are known as an equilateral triangle. Okay, so here we have A equal to B equal to C, and we know that sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degree, right? So A plus B plus C is 180 degree. So A is also 60, B is also 60 and C is also 60, and also the lengths are equal to each other. We have to keep this in mind when we solve any question. The second type of triangle is an isosceles triangle. So what does that mean? It means that any two sides are equal and the angles which are opposite to the equal sides are also equal. Okay, so basically we have AB and AC which are equal to each other. So the angles, this is opposite to AC, this is opposite to AB, so angle B will be equal to angle C, and over here we have AB is equal to AC. Okay. Now the third is a scalene triangle. So what does that mean? Here all the angles and all the sides are different from each other. So we have no commonality between any sides or angles. Now let's solve some questions so that we can understand this better. So the first is that in an isosceles triangle, one of the angles is 50 degree. So what is the largest possible angle? So isosceles, what does that mean? Two angles are equal. And we also know that the sum is 180 degree. So the first case, and this is the second case, okay? The first case is that the equal angle is 50 degree. So the other equal angle will also be 50 degree. So what is the third angle? The third angle will be 180 degree minus 50 plus 50. So that is 80 degree, right? And in the second case, we have that the third angle is 50 degree. And so the first and second must be equal, right? Because it's an isosceles. So this angle will be 180 minus 50 degree divided by 2. So that gives us 65 degree. Now you see that for this case 1 we have the angles as 50, 50, 80, and for case 2 we have them as 50, 65 and 65. So now what is the largest possible angle? It is 80 degree. So the solution will be 80 degree. So this is our answer. You have to be able to solve these type of questions which are very common. Now in the third question we have that triangle ABC is equilateral, and so we have to find the possible value of A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F. So the first thing that we notice is this part is a straight line. Again this part is a straight line. So this is very easy. B plus C will be 180 degree because this is a straight line. Again D plus E will also be 180 degree. Why? Because this is a straight line. Now it is given that it is an equilateral. So all angles are 60 degree. We know that. Now so this will also be 60 degree and this F will also be 60 degree. Now it becomes very simple. A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F. That will be A is 60 degree. B plus C, this part was 180 degree. Again D plus E is 180 degree and F is 60 degree. So just add them up. So this is 120 plus 360. So that gives us 480 degree. So this is our solution for this particular question, right? Now we move on to a very important concept, that is a similar triangle. What do we mean by that? So if there are any two triangles that have the same angles, this is the keyword here, right? Then their sides are proportional to each other. There are different techniques to prove that if they are similar to each other, and there are basically 3 techniques. So the first thing is, I have written A means angle and S means side. So the first property is AAA. So over here this means that all 3 angles of 2 different triangles must be equal to each other. So here A is equal to F, B is equal to E, and C is equal to D. Now you notice here that I have just written 2 of them because we know that sum is 180 degree. So if 2 are same, the third will automatically be same to the third angle, right? So these 2 triangles are similar, and this is the symbol for a similar triangle. The second property is SAS. So that is side, angle, side. So over here it is given that A is equal to F, right? And this particular side AB by EF, they are proportional to AC by DF. So basically we have two sides which are proportional and one angle which is equal. So they are similar to each other. And the third property is SSS. So over here we have all the three sides, they are proportional to each other. And this is the property which says that two triangles are similar. Now we'll try to solve a question so that we strengthen the concept better. So in this question it is given that AB is parallel to CD. This is the symbol for parallel. Okay. So what is the value of AB? We need to find out this value. Now we have to first prove that these two triangles, that is triangle ABE and triangle CDE, they are similar. How can we prove that? Because it is given that AB is parallel to CD. AB is parallel to CD. So if this is angle B, angle A, this is angle E1 maybe, this is E2, this is C, this is D. So we can write angle B is equal to angle C. Why? Because they are alternate angles, right? Again, angle D is equal to angle A because they are alternate angles, and angle E1 is equal to angle E2 because they are vertically opposite angles. Now we see that this is the property of AAA because all three angles were equal to each other. So we proved that triangle ABE is similar to triangle CDE. Now using the proportionality we can find the value of AB. So what will that be? That will be that first is we have to find the AB. AB is opposite to E1 and we know this side, so that is opposite to D and this is opposite to A, right? So basically 3 by 4 will be equal to 6 by AB, right? So that gives us AB is equal to 6 into 4 by 3, so that is 8. Okay, this is the value of AB from here because the sides are proportional to each other. Now keep this in mind that the ratio of the area of two similar triangles is equal to the ratio of the square of its sides. Okay, we'll use this concept later. Now we are coming to the next important concept, that is the concept of a congruent triangle. So two triangles, they are said to be congruent if they are exactly the same. So if two triangles have all the 6 things like that, 3 angles and the 3 sides same, then they are told to be congruent. Now similarly we have 4 conditions to prove that. The first is SSS. So that is if all the 3 sides are equal to corresponding 3 sides of a different triangle, then they are congruent, and this is the sign. The second is SAS. So what does that mean? That means that here AB is equal to EF, AC is equal to ED, and A is equal to E. But keep this in mind that the angle must be the one which is included between the 2 sides. Okay, this is an important note. The third is ASA. What is that? This is again one angle, one side and the other angle, and the side must be the one which is again included between the 2 angles. So this also proves congruency. And the fourth is AAS. So any 2 angles and one particular side, if that is same as the second triangle, then it is sufficient to prove that the triangles are congruent. Okay, let's solve the question. So the question gives us that triangle ABC, that is congruent to triangle DEF. So we see that this angle is equal to this angle, this angle is equal to this angle. So we have to show that which of the following is sufficient to prove these 2 triangles are congruent. So the first thing is angle ABC, this angle is equal to angle DEF. Now is this sufficient? It is not. Why? Because AAA, That was a property of similar triangles. Congruency is not proved by that. So this is not the correct choice. Now AC is 10 units. This is given as 10. Does it help? No, because we don't know the length of DF. So this also doesn't help. So the third option is BC is equal to EF. Now this is helping because we see that two angles and one side. Now this was a property. So this is the correct option, that BC is equal to EF will be sufficient. And again similarly ABC is 100. So this also doesn't help because we know that this is also 100. Now AAA is not a property. Okay, keep this in mind that AAA is a property of similar triangles. It does not prove congruency. Okay, now we move on to the last concept, that is the special triangle. The first is a right angled triangle. What does that mean? That any one angle must be 90 degree. So this will basically follow the Pythagoras theorem. So that is the hypotenuse, that is AC square, will be equal to AB square plus BC square. Okay. Now I have just included some common triplets so that it's easier to spot and solve questions. So the first is 3, 4, 5, then is 6, 8, 10, then is 8, 15, 17. So basically 3 square plus 4 square is equal to 5 square, and similarly, right? Just keep them in mind. It's not necessary to memorize. The second concept is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. What does that mean? That means that the angles are distributed in this way. This is a special right angled triangle. Okay, because one angle is 90 degree. And just keep in mind that the lengths are x, 2x and x root 3. This is very important and will help you solve a lot of questions. If possible, memorize this. Let's try to prove the concept that how the lengths of the 30-60 triangle come into place. So we have an equilateral triangle with sides x. So the first thing is we draw a bisector from A to divide this length in two equal parts. So this will be x by 2. This will also be x by 2. This is 30 degree and this is 30 degree. So basically we again have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. This is A, this is D, this is B. And this length is x, this is x by 2. Okay. So we use the Pythagoras theorem. So that gives us x square is x by 2 whole square plus AD square, right? So this is x square minus x square by 4 equal to AD square. So 3x square by 4 is AD square. So therefore AD will be root 3x by 2. Okay, so this is root 3x by 2. But we need them in the form of x, 2x and x root 3, right? So just multiply everything by 2. This will become 2x root 3x and x. Okay, so this particular concept is proven. Now that we move on to the third special triangle, that is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So basically, see, two angles are same. So this is an isosceles right angle triangle. Okay, and here the side measurements are x, x and root 2x. This is very simple proof. We just have to use the Pythagoras theorem. We know that if these sides are AB equal to BC is equal to x, so we can use the Pythagoras, that is x square plus x square will be AC square. So 2x square will be AC square. So therefore AC will be root over of 2 into x. So this is our solution for the side measurements. Just try to keep them in mind because they will make your process much faster to solve the questions. And now we also need to know that what is the area of a triangle, that is half into base into height. Just keep this in mind. This is very useful. Coming to the end of the video, and we'll solve last 5 questions so that we can grasp a better understanding of all the concepts. So the first is, what is the area of this triangle? So we just learned that the area is half into base into height. Okay, so this is basically called the base and this is the height. Okay, now what do we see? This is a 45, 45, 90. Okay, now we just learned that over here this hypotenuse is root 2x. So we'll get the values of x from here. If root 2x is equal to 4, then x is 4 by root 2. Nice. Then what's the area? Area is half into base is x, height is also x. So this is half into x square. Now x is 4 root 2. So x square is 4 square by root 2 square. So that is 16 by 2, which is 8. So this gives us half into 8. So that is 4. So this is our solution and the correct answer is option C, 4. What we did, we found out x square and just substituted it over here. Okay. Now the second is, which of the following can be the lengths of a triangle? What do we know? We know that sum of any two sides must be greater than third side. This is the basic concept we need to keep in mind. So for the first one, it is 6, 14, 7. Just by looking, we see 6 plus 7 is 13. Is 13 greater than 14? No. So this is not correct. Second, 5, 5, 12. 5 plus 5 is 10. Is it greater than 12? No. This is also not correct. Next, 4, 8, 11. 4 plus 8 is 12. It is greater than 11? Absolutely. 8 plus 11 is 19. Greater than 4? Absolutely. 4 plus 11 is 15. Greater than 8? Absolutely. So all three conditions are proper. So option C is the correct choice for this question. Okay. Now question 8. Here it is given that an equilateral triangle is sitting on top of a square. Now the area of the square is 4. So what is the area of the triangle? This is a very interesting question. Area of square is what? It is side square, right? So that is 4. So any side is basically root 4. So that is 2. So we know that this side is 2. This is 2. This is 2. This is 2. I'll show you a trick over here to find the area of an equilateral triangle. For an equilateral triangle, the area is root 3 by 4 a square. Okay, this is the area. And what is a? A is basically any length. So over here, for this question, my a is 2, right? So this is root 3 by 4 into 2 square. So that gives us root 3. This is the solution and option A is the correct choice. Try to memorize this formula because it will save you a lot of time. Otherwise, we have to again draw a perpendicular bisector, find the height. We just know the base, we have to find the height, and we have to use the half into base into height formula. If you want, you can try and do that and let me know in the comment section. But for faster solving, I'll recommend that you know this formula. Question number 9 gives us that triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF and AC is corresponding to DF. So what is the perimeter of the bigger triangle, that is DEF? So now if these are corresponding to this, we can find DE. How? Because 5 by DE will be equal to 6 by 9 will be again equal to 9 by EF, right? Because they are similar, and if they are similar, the sides will correspond to each other. So just use this part of it and get DE. That is 5 into 9 by 6. What is the answer? 15 by 2, that is 7.5. Okay, and again use this part of it. So EF will be 9 into 9 by 6. So that is right. Now perimeter is what? Sum of all the sides. So that is 7.5 plus 13.5 plus 9. So just add them up. This will give us 21 plus 9. So that is 30. So this is our solution, and option C is the correct choice. Okay. 13 plus 7 is 20. Yeah, this is the correct answer. Let's solve the last question of this video. This is a very simple question. We know this is a right angle triangle. So what do we use? Pythagoras. What will that state? X square plus 8 square is x plus 2 whole square. Just solve this. X square plus 4x plus 4. Now we can cancel them because it's obviously greater than 0. So this gives us 60 is equal to 4x. So therefore x is 15. This is the solution. Let me know in the comment section if this was helpful to you, and if you want me to explore any more concepts or any more questions on triangles. Thank you.